I wouldn't be surprised if it's by the end of this week. And this is what I do. I go by what historically she's done. And if you look at previous cases of hers, there's been times where she's done the summary judgment ruling at the same time as the dog.
Or do you think it is either too early or not prudent for them to do that right now?
They don't need to hold reserves. They're the world's reserve currency. They just print dollars and build gunships and space rockets. So no, they don't need this.
Who is responsible for this disaster?
Schauen Sie.
Well,
Rückwärts zu
look,
schauen ist immer einfach.
hindsight is wonderful.
Es ist einfach eine
And to point a finger.
Members of Congress, both those who sit on this committee as well as those who are elsewhere in the halls of Congress, have access to privileged information not generally available to the big companies. We, the people's elected officials, have access to information that can move markets.
And the rise in the price of the asset over time beats all other assets. You're under no motivation to do anything else but hold.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
If you got a bag, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, stuffing some bags. Go ahead, throw on those moon suits and those pilot shades. Let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 1.23 trillion, up almost 2% in the past 24 hours. We got XRP here right around 38.5 cents, down about 3% in the past 24. Stellar XLM right around 9 cents, up about 2.1 in the past 24. We got BTC 28,400, ETH right around 18 hundo. We got Flare Networks here right around 3 cents, and Songbird 0.00797, down 2.4 in the past 24. 2023 is already the worst year the bank runs in the U.S. history, measured by deposits held by failing banks. SVB and Signature held $263 billion in deposits combined, already more than the deposit exposure of failed banks in 2008. Yikes. Brook and Whistle says there's a lot of doom and gloom in the industry at the moment, but here at Ripple, we're out on the road hard, continuing to look towards building real-world utility for crypto. XRP, the king of utility. ISO 222, a new dawn for payments. On the 20th of March, more than 11,000 institutions in over 200 countries and territories, their vendors and technology teams, many domestic payment platforms will start their migration to ISO 222 for payments and related messaging. This will be one of the largest migrations ever undertaken by financial institutions and represents a once in a generational change. Welcome to the transformation of all value. Joe Cat says nothing about SVB's KYC policy or who they extended credit to seems to have anything whatsoever to do with how they become insolvent. And anyone who keeps uninsured funds on deposits with an insolvent bank is not a bright person, not your keys, not your bags. Breaking the ISO 222 migration in Europe seems to have gone smoothly on the system side. The ECB reports full functionality for Target 2, T2S, and TIPS. You can check the current status here. Payment infrastructure. I wouldn't be surprised if it's by the end of this week. John Dean.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's by the end of this week. And this is what I do. I go by what historically she's done. And if you look at previous cases of hers, there's been times where she's done the summary judgment ruling at the same time as the Dauber. There was a case where she gave both rulings simultaneously. And that's why when the Dauber motion came down, I said the summary judgment could be tonight. Then there was another case where she did the Dauber rulings and 2 weeks went by and she gave the decision on summary judgment. And there was a case where she did the Dauber ruling and 60 days between. So although I'm guessing, I can tell you this, that I would be very surprised if it's not within the next 30 days. If late April comes and we're still waiting, I'll genuinely be surprised, and it would be inconsistent with the way she's handled cases in the past. When Ripple's summary judgment decision was published, I came out and said, this is a brief written for the appellate courts, that it was written directly to the Second Circuit and the U.S. Supreme Court. It's already an appeal ready. And if you look Brad Garlinghouse even said that Ripple was operating as though they had already lost. I don't know if you remember when he said that. And he said, listen, it's not going to get any worse for us than it is now. And basically, if you look at who they hired Michael Kellogg. Okay, Michael Kellogg is the preeminent appellate attorney in the United States of America. Neil Gorsuch, who is on the Supreme Court, used to work for Mike Kellogg, okay, as a partner there. And he used to be a solicitor general. He used to be chief Rehnquist clerk. And so this brief is written for the appellate courts. And I've come out and said that if Ripple goes to the Supreme Court, they're going to win. Now, that's pretty confident for me to say. I said 100%, I'm sure. And there are not many things you're sure in 100%, because this Supreme Court, it overturned Roe versus Wade. No matter what your position is on it, it was 50-year precedent. They're conservative justices. And if you look at the EPA West Virginia case that Professor J.W. and I talked about recently, that's the case where they slapped down the EPA for extending its jurisdiction without congressional authorization.
TikTok. Load up while you still have some time. DI says awkward. There's a reason Pop acts like he doesn't hear what is said. The question is not who Satoshi is. It's why do the Bitcoin maxis don't want to know when they're given video evidence that Homeland Security met with the 4 Satoshis. They either know or they don't want to know. If they know, it's the biggest financial lie in history. If they don't know, it's a dangerous, willful ignorance of something that could harm the investment itself. It was never Bitcoin.
Should the United States Federal Reserve buy Bitcoin today and put it into those reserves as a hedge against all of the chaos, all of the uncertainty, all of the problems that we talked about? Or do you think it is either too early or not prudent for them to do that right now?
They don't need to hold reserves. They're the world's reserve currency. They just print dollars and build gunships and space rockets. So no, they don't need this. The more contentious question is, who owns all of that Satoshi Nakamoto stuff? My theory has been from day one that this was a combination of the GCHQ in the UK and the NSA in the US that built this. But I spoke to the Department of Defense several times over the years, and they don't know where Bitcoin came from, but they kind of are open to the idea that it came as a parallel system that was built as a just in case by state actors themselves, knowing that it's decentralized, but if they can play a central role in it, it's okay. So I don't know, maybe that's the stake that they already own. Who knows?
It is. It's very interesting to think about what people perceive to happen here in the future.
Bitcoin was just a smokescreen. Get ready for the XRP ledger to go live. James, rule XRP, the US dollar cash flow arrangement will run from Monday until at least the end of April. Bank of England said central banks take swift action to keep cash flowing amid investors' fears and more bank runs. Social media storm, too many people were telling the truth. Reporter asked Credit Suisse chairman who is responsible for this disaster.
Who is responsible for this disaster?
Schauen Sie.
Well,
Rückwärts zu
look.
schauen ist immer einfach. Und
Hindsight is wonderful.
es ist einfach eine
And to point a finger,
dass wir
it's a fact
sicherlich seit
that
2021 mit Green
since 2021 with JDOS, we never left the headlines. We were overtaken by legacy situations, by risks that materialized last year. We were affected by a market model that does no longer work in this market environment, and many clients have been very loyal for a very long time. And last autumn, we had this social media storm, and this had huge repercussions. More in the retail sector than in the wholesale sector, and too much becomes too much. And that's when we reach this point. It's accumulation of various facts that contributed to one another and then materialized at some point. And this then caused the situation to deteriorate.
Social media storm equals too many people telling the truth. Crypto community is eagerly awaiting the possible summary judgment date in the Ripple lawsuit fronted by the Securities Exchange Commission. As a recap, legal experts have speculated that the matter might be determined in the first quarter 2023, according to DN regarding the Hinman emails and speech drafts. The SEC has requested for them to remain sealed even after Judge Torres' ruling on summary judgment. I believe that the email speech drafts will be made public at some point, regardless of Judge Torres' decisions on whether to seal. We got the evidence. Get those jumpsuits. Get those jail cells ready. Free the standard. Drain the swamp. XRP price prediction: as the market cap reaches 20 billion, can XRP reach $10? XRP chart suggests that the rally may be close, with this relative strength index, purple, rising above the 50 today, indicating an increase in positive momentum. Interesting whales seem to have mixed views as what XRP is likely to do next, with some moving their holdings onto exchanges and others moving tokens off. For instance, yesterday we saw a large trader move 11.8 million in XRP off Upbit. It saw an even bigger transfer of 118.2 million to Binance. Make of it what you will, but the longer term picture remains positive for XRP, largely because of expectations surrounding what will happen in Ripple's case with the SEC. Encouragingly, Ripple has been able to win a range of favorable decisions in the past few months, heightening the sense in the crypto community that has a good chance of prevailing. Drain the swamp, free the standard, SEC who? Meanwhile, over 50 whales have amassed 420 million XRP in the past month. They know what's on the horizon. Meanwhile, historical wallet count continues to climb despite the SEC case. 4,615,359 historical wallet count. JD XRP update: we're still within the RSI trend line. The end of the triangle is roughly April 17th. Will we break out? Maybe before that final capitulation wick to that 0.786 before we rock it. I'm ready both ways. Lock up your xSpectar for some sweet rewards. xspectar.com/xs-lock. More info on the program here. Even the people on the street corner know how good it is. Lock your xSpectar tokens in the XS Lock reward program before it's too late. You can earn token rewards, NFTs, XS Tower Plot. Let's go. Members of Congress have access to privileged information not available to the public. We have access to information that can move markets, games, all rigged.
Members of Congress, both those who sit on this committee as well as those who are elsewhere in the halls of Congress, have access to privileged information not generally available to the public. Every day we attend closed-door briefings, sometimes classified briefings, we hold special hearings, and we participate in private meetings, often with CEOs of publicly traded companies. We, the people's elected officials, have access to information that can move markets. We, those who have been sent to Washington, D.C. to represent our constituents, are expected to use this information to make smart decisions, not to benefit our personal financial portfolios. However, trust has broken down, and major contributors to this breakdown include the perception of conflicts of interest, the never-ending parade of suspiciously timed trades, and Congress's refusal to put guardrails on our own ability to buy and sell stocks while in office. During the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we heard a familiar refrain. Reporting showed members buying and selling stocks of companies that made cleaning supplies, medical equipment, and pharmaceuticals, long before most of the public was aware of the coronavirus's severity. These violations of trust were not constrained to either party. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle were repeat offenders. And to think that at the start of a once-in-a-generation global pandemic, lawmakers found time in their schedules to buy and sell stocks. Reports have made very clear that lawmakers routinely vote on legislation that will impact their individual stock portfolios in a profitable way.
Don't fall for the media trickery and load up on that XRP standard while you still have some time. The transformation of wealth is upon us. Joe Cat says, does anyone know how Credit Suisse managed to lose 20 billion when they're making something like 5 billion per year? Egg-Rack Crypto Velocity, XRPL, the instantaneous death of all of them was due to the velocity of withdrawals. To protect such systems, you need to unleash the instantaneous funding velocity, the on-demand liquidity, Hodl, that Hodl. We got Mr. Pool, the golden ticket. Believe, know what you hold, know what's coming, and know why they want you out. Just Hodl, and we'll see you at the tippy top.
General thesis is the market's going to be squeezier than people expect. So I think we probably get to 50,000 faster than most people expect. When that is it this year? Is it within 12 months? Probably. Don't know. And over time, we just keep the adoption curve and it keeps going. You know, where does it go at the peak of this cycle? I don't know. Again, I don't want to be hung by dicks online for all of this, but you know, over time, does it take it 100,000? Does it take it 250,000? Of course it does. It's just a matter of when. And the timing part is the red herring. You know, if you've got a long enough time horizon and the trend rate of adoption and the rise in the price of the asset over time beats all other assets, you're under no motivation to do anything else but hold.
There's nothing left to do but load up and hold on. The best is yet to come. Tick-tock, crawl, walk. Then we rock it. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, stuffing some bags. Catch you in the next one. Make sure to stay extra bullish out there. Continue holding those good vibes, and we'll see you on the mothership for the moon party. BYOB. Bring your own bags. Bring your own billions. Be your own bank. Peace out, crypto ghost.
Look at us now. We hit 1,000. Where do we go? We saw the show. Look at us now. We hit 1,000. Where do we go? Nobody knows.
Rising up the Venus, sleeping giants taking over. Keep on climbing, proof of work. Keep declining, it kills the planet. Bitcoin dying, politicians keep on lying. That top prize, what we eyeing. Deep stake it, A by line.